So today we are. I don't know if you've most of you, I know all of you pretty much, and you all have been to my classes before. I do things pretty unorganized and off the handle. So I brought 3 other people to help me look way better than I could do. So I brought Brent Wilson from Planet Doom, and his Planet Doom from Idaho Falls, and I brought Ken Webster in. He is from Sinful Audio. And it's. I did this like 20 minutes ago, so leave me alone. You're on everything else that I do, so
He's a villain.
So there's an S right here. It's black because he's trying to be incognito right now. So he does most of the audio stuff, but I know that there's some parts of your videos and stuff like that. People may do overlays in music and capturing your audio with your video, and so I brought him on as well for that. And then Troy Frantz from Hellmouth is a daily vlogger, and he also does walkthrough videos, scare cam videos, and stuff like that. So each one of them does different styles. He does absolutely no video at all. And I do video as well for Scare Hollow and other type of marketing materials and stuff like that. Some of you may have seen the videos for West Coast Hunters Convention over the last several weeks. I did all of those. I do mainly those things I do because I want to learn how to do it. And I think the best way to do a lot of these videos is to do a bunch of them over and over and over again. And as you do each one, you're going to get better and better with each type of video you're making. Your first one will be terrible. Except for Brent here, he doesn't make anything bad. I don't know if you've seen any of his Planet Doom pictures. They have such vibrant colors and everything that I was blown away. How long have you been haunting?
I started as a teenager, and then I took a hiatus for about 12 years because I lived in condos in Colorado, and then just got the bug again about 3 years ago.
Okay, and by bug, let me tell you, how far are you already on your haunt?
My maze is about 3,500 square feet, and right now, as of mid-May, I've got about half of it built.
Yeah, it's May, and he's already got half his haunt built. So anybody who's building a haunt, you're already way behind, evidently. So I'll play a video while he's talking. So I guess, is there anything else you want to tell us about what you, I guess, kind of your style of video?
You bet. When you're shooting in low light conditions, I think there's a couple of factors that you really have to keep in mind. You want to move things more slowly in low light conditions. Digital cameras are equipped. We don't use film anymore. Now we use electronic sensors in the camera. And obviously the type of camera you use and the type of sensor that the camera has makes a big difference on the quality of your photography. But the most important thing you can do is set your lighting up for success. And so it's a little bit counterintuitive for haunting because dark equals scary. But for haunt photography, the more light you can give that camera sensor, the better. The more information it can pick up, the sharper your images are going to be. The other thing too, because you're wanting to move slowly, you want to use a tripod when you can. This is a walkthrough video, so I did not use a tripod. So this is actually a pretty hypocritical example. But if you're doing still photos, or if you're not doing a walkthrough, but you're shooting video, it would be one prop. I highly recommend using a tripod. I recently purchased a jib, which is a camera crane, and also a hand stabilizer for walkthroughs. So they make these things, you can put them on your shoulders and hold them in your hands, and your camera's going to stay pretty much motionless while you're walking through the haunt. But yeah, to me the most important thing is give that camera sensor enough light to pick up details. And you don't necessarily need to spend a fortune on a full frame camera. I've gotten some pretty good video and some pretty good still photos with Micro Four Thirds mirrorless cameras. This particular video was shot with a very affordable Nikon D3300 camera. I bought it because it's considered to be a workhorse for low light conditions, and it's really inexpensive. You can get a D3300 for, including a 55mm lens, for under $400. And so this one for me has been great. Like I said, I shot this video with the Nikon D3300, and The actual picture size you get is 24 megapixels, which correlates as well into image quality. And it does a great job, and it costs a fraction of what a full frame camera would cost you, and the quality it's comparable.
So would you say that using a video camera, like a camcorder, or a digital camera is better for taking video? I know most people think video, you think I'm gonna grab my camcorder like this and go shoot around.
Yeah.
I know that both, you use digital camera only, right? Or do you do
Correct.
both?
Yeah,
Okay. And I know Troy does too, so.
Yeah, so the Nikon D3300 is set up for 1080 video.
Okay.
And so, I'm assuming that most of you, unless you've got a ton of money to blow on a high quality
Right.
digital video recorder, you're probably just using the DSLR.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Question over here.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, could I video that, or can I video this, or you don't want me to take a video?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
These are on YouTube and stuff too as well.
Yeah, please feel free.
So video or taking pictures, just to clarify, this is video?
This is video, correct? Yes, with a Nikon digital camera.
Right when you interfere in this?
Yeah. Everything that Troy has pulled up on is video.
Because I know, like with me, I mean, I have a digital camera, and I have this. I shoot primarily with this only because it's really only I've ever shot with it. It'd be weird for me to handle a little digital camera and move around, But it's with the DSLRs, it's a much better quality than that can produce as well. So it's almost like if you were to buy a DSLR, you could take amazing pictures of your hunt and video, and not have to buy two different pieces of equipment. So this Canon camcorder takes still shots as well, but you have to press the screen to do it, and so you press the screen, it's going to move the camera. So the DSLRs, like you said, is much. I think that's a better route for all around and all your use as well. You take pictures, birthday parties, things like that too. So you're not just saying, oh, this is the one thing for my haunt. You could use your haunt budget for it, but you could also use it for all your other stuff you do.
Haunt budget? What?
Budget, I know. That's a whole nother class. It's at 2 a.m. this morning at 1369. Drink your budget away. That's what we're going to call it.
I think I took that one last year.
I took it last night. It was fantastic. I'll take it again tonight if you want. I think most of you guys have seen this next person here when it loads. I was going to do that thing where you shut down Windows Media Player and it doesn't error.
It's just a Hellmouth thing. It takes both of us forever to do anything. So,
especially when we want to do it, it's going to show an error every minute. So Troy, what do you explain yourself?
gosh.
That's a whole nother class. You're gonna be until 5.
It's not a class, it's like 10 seconds.
That's 10 seconds, okay.
No. So I got into haunting, and my first priority was trying to capture, because we worked so hard on our haunts, I wanted to capture the reactions of my guests and whatnot. When I first did it, I was using just a regular point and shoot digital camera with a flash, and from up high, and got a couple of good reactions. But I wanted to do more than that. In 2011, I did
this is 13, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's 13. It's still the same concept. So I did a drop panel hallway, and the first one I did had 2 drop panels, 1 on each side, and they were both triggered with the same mechanism.
It's totally gonna interrupt your entire conversation.
That's okay. So both windows would drop at the same time. Like it's already been mentioned, lighting is everything, and I've had a lot of comments on the videos of, why is it so light? And I'm like, come on now, you can see not only the reactions, but you can see the facial expressions also, which really it gives a good impact. And I think that's why the first video went, it's like over, 3 million views or something like that, I think.
Yeah, the 2011 one for sure, yeah.
So, and I think that's why that sucked so many people in, because the reactions were just great. So I decided to light the hallway. And from a haunter's perspective, After that hallway, it was complete darkness. So, you know, you get blinded by the light kind of, and now you're plunged into darkness, so the scare factor continues.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to say, and then I know that Ken, you can probably confirm this, that when you guys video your haunts, the audio plays such a huge part. And I can't remember where I found this fact.
Sorry, I missed it. You know we love
Someone hold my arm.
If you have a video that the video quality isn't the best, but the audio is really good, you will continue to have retention of people watching it. If it's the opposite and you have really good video, but the audio is garbage, your retention is going to go down. So the audio plays a huge, I mean, that's how we sense it. That's what we do. So I think that's really important.
You know, it's like that. It's like there's a haunt on the East Coast or the Midwest that does where they have the drop panel go or whatever they're looking at, and then as soon as that thing drops or whatever they're getting scared by, the light flashes, and then it takes a super bright picture of them being scared at that one split second. Everybody's seen those pictures, and it's just that, you know, it's dark before it happens. And then you see that, so it's the same thing of lighting up the scare. They're doing it in a flash, you're doing it constant. That guy is my favorite of all time. I can watch that over and over again.
You can. That guy was funny.
These videos are, yeah. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, I should have given you the one with the prop car too, because the little kid actually both feet off the ground jumps in the air.
Oh yeah, you did the slow motion of it too.
Yeah.
You went back and did like 6 clips of him, and he's like,
That's great.
But I mean, this was able to do what I wanted. I mean, we do the haunt for such a short period of time. This right here has just captured all of that, so that we can revisit it. And Troy said the first video that you do, you're going to be like, ugh. Well, the first video that you edit, you are going to think is, in my opinion, is going to be the most amazing video that you've ever done, because you've done it. You've edited the video, and you know it's your baby. When it becomes garbage is 3-4 years later, after you've learned to use your editor, whichever one you choose to use, and you get better at editing and adding effects or whatever. Then you look back at that original video and be like, oh my gosh, what the hell is this? So.
yeah, he can't look back on his first vlog.
I don't watch the first ones.
I watch about once a month just to remind me.
Yeah, and he gives me
Laugh at him a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
You know, if you can't laugh at someone, you can laugh about them.
That's right. And you know, from before I get to Ken, I'll kind of go over my stuff.
I should leave his logo off. He's last.
Or I could say that I'm saving the best for last.
Oh.
One thing that I will tell you, I was going to do handouts, but you know, I'm one of those people who you bring those handouts home, and like I just found my West Coast bag from last year, and it still had everything in it. So, you know, we are going to host. I have a PDF of all of our notes that we've written for this. I didn't want to print out 100 pieces of paper and give them all to you guys, stuff like that. So we're going to host it on our Northwest Hunters webpage, but you can also go on Northwest Hunters the Facebook group, or you can private message me, and I can email it to you, message it to you, whatever. But we'll host it on there for forever. With one of the biggest things that if you're not going to invest in, you know, because we all have, you know, money is not the greatest thing to talk about, you know. If you don't want to invest in that and you want to stick with your smartphone, I will tell you that people, if you ever want to enter contests and stuff, the best way to lose a contest is to hold your phone like this. I'll tell you that right now. You will out and out lose the contest. I have been on judging panels. I did the Home Hunter DVD Collection Awards last year, and I watched a bunch of them to try to get video for the award show, and it was hard to do because there's so much blank space on both sides that you actually lose a lot of detail and lose a lot of even graphic detail with it. I mean, you know, it's not great. So I know it's hard to do, but it's one of the biggest things is to not do vertical video, because this way will get you full frame. You'll get like a cool background on there. That's cool. You know, you will get your full frame of the video just like you're shooting on a digital camera or a camcorder. it's just imperative, because if you're going to do this, you know, for quick little Facebook Lives and quick little walkthroughs while you're building stuff or whatever, that's fine. We're all going to watch it. We're all going to love it. It's going to be awesome. But for your official videos or anything that you want to promote of your haunt or your display or anything, to definitely hold it sideways if you're going to go through, and then to add some sort of a tripod to it. They sell attachments for these type of tripods that have an extendable mount that you can hold this into. And then you can just hold the tripod, and you're getting a lot more steady action with it. So trying to use a tripod with your cell phone and doing the horizontal video is going to be basically my two big things. I'm not going to show you any of my videos because it's not really about me; it's more about them. You know, so the one thing that I think a lot of people, you know, miss about is the audio. So if Ken can kind of explain his history a little bit, and then what kind of some tips and tricks about that kind of stuff.
I was born in 1971.
Whoa, okay, we don't have that much time.
Audio is important. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being here. So one thing I was kind of discovering as Troy was asking me to be a part of the panel was how important video is. And you know, I work with this day in and day out, where I work with videographers and people who are very in tune with visuals. And a lot of times audio kind of goes by the wayside, and for, you know, there are reasons for this. A lot of times you can't get a hold of the right equipment. You can't get really good microphones for a price that, you know, works out for your budget. You know, with iPhones and, you know, everything built into them, you can take really good video and fairly adequate audio sometimes. But again, you don't have to buy a lot of special equipment. So taking it from that perspective, what I was really wanting to try to get across is, okay, let's say you've got a modest budget and you're using a phone or a camcorder. Let's take out some of the things that might be problematic for audio. One of them being unwanted sounds, or what I call noise. Okay? That's probably the biggest piece of any recording that you can do, is to say, all right, I have audio that I really want to record, but I have all this extraneous stuff that I really want to keep out of it because it's just, again, noise. One of the first things I always kind of work with videographers on is, okay, look at your surroundings, the voices that are involved, people that are there helping you work. Are they talking? Is it narration that shouldn't be there? Should you know, really kind of have to work with others to tell them to be quiet while you're walking through and filming your haunt. Make sure that you're not getting all this extraneous noise. That goes for dogs barking and, you know, cars at 5 p.m. during rush hour. Just kind of take your surroundings in a little bit. Is there a bunch of unwanted noise that you can prevent by filming an hour later? That kind of thing. Can you get better audio by pointing your phone, or maybe having a separate microphone, if possible, pointing towards your source signal, you know, for your sound? Is that something you can record at that time where you're always getting consistent audio at a good volume? Things like that, just little things like that. With your video phone or whatever you have, if it gives you levels in terms of your audio, try to keep it from hitting the red all the time. You're going to get distortion. Try to keep it in the yellow. Yellow is a safe spot. Okay? Anything under 0 decibels is good. You might want to see it in the red once in a while, but try to keep it out of there. That'll keep you from getting distortion and ruining the whole thing. With digital, it's really hard to, in fact, almost impossible to get rid of distortion. So something to keep an eye on there. Oh, and the graphics kind of show where you want to kind of keep it. Right there. And let's see. Oh man, I need my glasses.
I know. It's not as big as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, okay. So one of the most important techniques, and it depends on how far you want to go with this. So I always suggest have somebody on the phone recording the video. If you can get a separate microphone, that's even better, and have somebody else recording the audio for you. You're looking at everything in front of you. They're holding the microphone towards the source of the sound, whether it be a speaker up above, mid, low. They're just keeping their mind on where that speaker is and recording that audio. And so you can do it live, get the best audio possible without having to go into post-production with a video editing piece of software. And while I mentioned that, how many people in this room actually work with any type of video editing software? Okay, so if you have that option, I always suggest do the walkthrough, get the video, do your post-production later. You've already got music and sound effects, go ahead and sync it up later, if you can do it. If not, get somebody to help you with the video and audio recording at the time that you want to go through.
So with, I know that I've had problems trying to figure out the difference between the two types of microphones with the omnidirectional and bidirect. Is that the two? Or
So there's two distinct types of
I may
microphones.
be confused about what I'm asking.
There's dynamic.
He knows.
And there's dynamic microphones, which your dynamics are, think of your guitar amp and miking your guitar amp. These microphones they're not powered by anything. They use the signal and pressure level to actually get the voltage to your mixing board, to your recording device. Okay. Then you have your other type of condenser microphones, which have active electronics in it that you actually have to send voltage to, and they're very sensitive. These things, you want to make sure you're getting volume levels first before you actually start recording your sound signal. Okay. But they're much more sensitive. They pick up a wider range of dynamics. Okay. So that's the difference right there. Now, when you were talking about omni and bidirectional and that kind of thing,
Right.
that's just the field of sound that it picks up. So like an omnidirectional, like you would think, sphere picks up everything around it. You work with a cardioid, which really is heart-shaped, right? That term. It's picking up everything in front, but it rejects some of the sound from the side, okay, and the back. So there's different fields there.
So for a haunt, if they were walking through, what type of microphone do you think would be better?
If you have the choice, go for a cardioid. It's always good. Otherwise, shotgun style, where it's very directional.
So like those longer mics.
Longer mics, and the actual field itself is very, very pointed, and you're always wanting to keep with the sound source. But it helps the side rejection. It helps with side rejection. It keeps other unwanted noises out of the mix.
Okay.
And something else for any post-production folks, and maybe even some folks that don't have that ability right now. One of the fun things, and we were just looking at one of the videos there with some of were they drop panels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So some of the fun things that you can do from an audio perspective is when you capture that sound, take a listen to that frequency and take everything out except that low frequency. Use that to actually use tactile audio so somebody can feel it, okay? One of the neat things that you can do and not talked a lot about is using sound to actually create a tactile feel. So let's say somebody wants to play that back and they have a subwoofer, okay? If they have a subwoofer, you can actually feel the reaction that you saw there up on the screen, okay? And that's also part of it. You're hearing it, you're feeling it, and you're seeing it. And it's just one more sense that your mind is just going, wow, that is an incredible video, and people remember that kind of thing.
So hitting on the post-production side of it, Brent, what type of software do you use to edit your videos together?
Well, the video itself, I'm just using Windows Movie Maker.
Okay. That's what I use too, yeah.
Yeah, I have a copy of Sony Vegas Pro, which I just haven't had time to mess with yet. The intros and the outros, I'm using After Effects for those.
Okay.
But I, like Ken mentioned, I use a program called Audacity.
Oh, yes.
Awesome free software.
Yeah.
Highly recommend downloading it. The haunt video that I did this year, I actually did what Ken said, is I actually basically deleted the ambient audio from when I was filming, and I went back after the fact and plugged in the actual prop animations and sounds through Audacity, and the sound quality is so much better than what I could have picked up with my camera.
Troy, what kind of software do you use? Because I know you do. He does daily vlogs, and I don't know. I mean, you guys probably haven't been to watch him at 2 o'clock in the morning when he's editing, but I've been lucky enough to be over at his house, especially with what we've been doing for this convention. That I've been lucky enough to watch him do this, and I used the term last night, and I don't mean it in any offensive way, but he is an idiot savant when it comes to the way he edits. I totally came up with that last night for him
Just
because
saying.
I watched it. Just saying. I watched him last night, and I've watched him in person, and I think he can do it with his eyes closed. He's literally clicking and moving the software around like you wouldn't believe. I mean, he's just clicking, and he could be like talking to me at the same time. And it's just, I mean, that's what happens when you do 23, 70 something of vlogs. You're in like the 2300s.
2300.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, he probably moved from literally cutting film because that's how long he's been doing it to using the software. I decided to work in an old joke with you, not with Jim this time.
Was it you that told me that's how they actually get the term footage? Is because they actually.
We were wondering why why his camera records in 24 feet 7 inches, and mine does it in minutes and seconds. And I was just thinking, I was like, I don't know why they use feet and inches. And then like a couple nights later, I was like, dude, it's called footage. Foot of film. And then they just transferred it to the digital cameras. Obviously, probably different makers will use a different medium for it. But yeah, I was super proud of myself that it took me 35 years to figure that out. But just to tell you, he didn't know it either. He's like, that's good. Don't tell anybody.
Well, it's funny because they've got the foot and the inch mark, but it's still minutes and seconds. So
that's not. Is it 24 minutes and 7 seconds? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I didn't know that.
35 and then a few days. Right.
Yeah. But what software do you use to?
I use Sony Vegas, and I mean it's an older version that I'm using from I don't know, it's Vegas Pro HD from like 2011. But you get comfortable with your software, and especially like he was saying, I mean, I'm fast at it, and when you do this every single day, you have to be kind of good at it. But I mean, the awesome thing, and I've never really experienced Windows Movie Maker, but as far as like a platform to start with, I mean, if you have a PC, go with it because it's free. You don't have to invest any money in it. And my biggest piece of advice is mess around with it, learn it, use it. I mean, if you go and you try to edit a video and you do it and you think, hey, that's great, and then you don't touch it for a while, then you're not going to get used to it. I've seen people do amazing things with the cheaper software or the free stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen people do really crappy things with the high-end stuff. It's just a matter of learning it, learning the curve. And there's YouTube videos that you can. I mean, if you want to learn how to do a special effect on the platform that you're editing on, you can go to YouTube and there's probably a video on how to do it.
The one thing I will tell you is that if you look up anything, and Brent could probably corroborate this, is that if you look up anything to do with Adobe software, After Effects, Premiere, any of those, they are all in almost Russian, thick Russian accents, thick Ukrainian accent. You can't, but luckily a lot of them put captions on there so you can really understand what they're saying. But there have been many times where my wife has asked me, what are you watching down there? I go, somebody explaining something about After Effects, and I'm trying to follow him, I'm doing the clicks and stuff, but there are so many. You could type in, fire effect for Adobe After Effects, and there will be 100 different YouTube videos of how to create a fire effect on your screen, and step by step by step. And similar with the Vegas and the Movie Maker too.
And like paradigms. So let's say you're editing your video and you get kind of stuck in the rut of, because most of them we cut the clip. So your audio and video are attached. You cut the clip, and then you've got this clip of video that you like. Sometimes we'll just leave the audio there because that's just what it is. And like what you guys are saying, at least in Vegas, I don't know if you can do it with a Movie Maker. You can separate the audio from the video, and I've done that a bunch of times. Especially, I've had to cut voices out of my vlogs before because I just couldn't have them in. So what I ended up doing is just finding some ambient that was shot about the same scene, the same time, and I will just take the audio out of the one and then move that other audio over, and it fits. So I mean, don't continue to learn. Don't get frustrated with it. Hold it at least, your level face. Unless you want to seem taller, then you can hold it down a little bit. Makes you look taller. If you want to look shorter, you can hold it up so you look shorter.
Best tip ever.
Yeah. Looming over your actors and stuff.
Our vertically challenged cells. What else? Do you have other things that I have on there?
Oh yes, I have plenty of your. Let's see where you're. I know.
I've slept, so I forgot everything from yesterday.
Oh, I closed that out. Hold on. I had it all ready to go so that I was going to print all these out, and I didn't want to do that. Saving the trees, man. You can kind of see. I'm going to show you what I'll have up there, but you can also see there's a lot of Brent's tips and stuff like that, and showing the different things. Got a lot of a lot of big words that I didn't understand. So he said I could edit it at, as I wanted, and I was like, you think I know what you're talking about.
Tips and tricks.
Here we go.
Steadicam. Being steady when you film in a Steadicam. Like you were saying about moving the camera around. The more you move it around, I mean, you think that it takes one picture, or it takes 30 pictures every second if you're on 30 frames a second. That's what makes sense. So if you, in 1 second's time, if you move it from here to here, you just took 30 pictures. That's not going to be a smooth movement. So you want to make sure that you try to move it as slow as possible, as smooth as possible. They do make it's an awesome Steadicam. It's very versatile. And I know you were talking about like the gimbal or whatever,
yeah.
which is just another version of it. You can find them on Amazon or whatever. The Steadicam I'm talking about it's a handheld, and it's got several different fulcrums on it, or axis rather, and it holds your camera. You balance it, and you can just move around with it. And I didn't bring it this weekend. That's one thing I forgot. But it makes for really smooth video, which is so much better than the jerky, shaky stuff that goes on. Oh wow, those are mine. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, awesome point. Okay, shoot to edit versus capturing everything. You certainly want to make sure that if you have like 2 hours of material to go over, that's going to take obviously a lot more time to edit. Typically, once you start getting good at editing, figure about 2.5 minutes for every 1 minute of raw material. So if you're able to shoot to edit, you know something's going to happen, so you get the camera ready and then you start shooting. That's a lot better. But also, if you don't film it, you ain't got it. So this is kind of like a paradox right here, that if you think something's going to happen, it's like, oh, it might happen, it might not. And then it happens, it's like, ah, oh, dang it, and I didn't film it. You don't got it. You missed out on your opportunity. So sometimes it is good to keep it rolling.
I agree with that one, the latter point.
Yeah.
And well, you can probably comment on this one. When I edit, I attempt to get rid of the coughs, the yawns, the because we all when we talk, and dead air. People's attention span now very short. So if you sit there and you're doing, I don't know, a tutorial, or you're speaking, and there's lots of dead air, get rid of that. Cut that out of there, shorten your video, because also when somebody goes to watch your video, a lot of people look at video length. If you don't, and people don't realize that you don't have to watch all of it right then, but we don't think that. We go to YouTube, we see a video, and it's like 22 minutes, it's like, oh, I don't have time to watch this, so they don't watch it.
Yeah.
Dialogue pacing is very important.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Technical term.
My big thing is so. I say it so many times, but he used to do a lot of editing where he would film like all day long, and then he saw me edit one day and saw me do my vlogs, and I sit there and I film it and then I press stop, and that's what I wanted to film. And so I go back and I just go click, and I'm like, oh, there's that in there. I need to, I did film a long section, and there was a part in the middle that I wanted to cut out. It's gone, So I have a bunch, like he has a bunch of clips as well, but they used to be longer clips. Now he's definitely, I know you've mentioned, several times that you're starting to really do that more, the shooting to edit. And it, like I said, it drastically cuts down on your time, and we all don't have time. So, and then it goes on the rest of it there.
Lighting, oh my gosh, especially with the white, or not the contrast on the camera, I think, or the white balance, or whatever it automatically adjusts. I mean, I just do this every day. I don't know the technical mumbo jumbo. I just know what works. So many times, I'm so guilty of it too. You always want the light in front of you. So you've got, let's say you are filming yourself, or even if you're filming your subject, the sun is blinding you when you're filming yourself, and it's like, oh man, so you turn your back. Well, now you've got the bright light behind you, and now you're dark, and you're black. Some of that can be cleaned up in post-edit. If you have a good editing tool, you can lighten the clip. It actually ends up making the background just completely white, but at least you can see you. Always make sure that you've got your light on your subject instead of behind them.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I always go along whenever I have my camera out. I always sit there and I'm like, okay, now I got you, But sometimes I leave it in, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, sometimes I like to pull Michael Jackson. Ooh, I'm light. Ooh, I'm dark. Light, dark, light, dark.
I see some people are unsubscribing to your vlog right now. That's
Yeah.
weird. It's really weird.
That was bad.
I was thinking it made the connection of Thriller, Michael Jackson. Okay, I'm keeping it haunty.
So you were saying that only haunters like Thriller, or is that like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
okay.
oh, okay, yeah.
Is it 5 o'clock?
Profiling. I know Taco Bell time is coming soon. Don't worry, we're getting on this. So yeah, Superwoman. That's
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, so this is the one that I did the opposite direction, and kind of the cool thing here, and they didn't like it too much, but the light was so bright that it was hard for them to see. But I did the whole haunt lit, with them, but the reactions were, it was pretty cool.
Less. Oh yeah.
And if I remember correctly,
Plastic.
oh yeah, I followed 2 different groups through the same way, and then in the bottom left-hand corner, I was putting each room that they were in, so that I would cut from one group, and then I would do that room, and then I'd go to the next room and cut both different groups. But I tried to make it flow. It was great.
What about having a camera like, we tried last year and it almost successfully had a camera on a cap so that it was facing the people that was behind him, and he knew when to just kind of stop and wait for that, from the people behind him. Have you tried something like that?
No, not a bad
The
idea.
only problem, he was kind of like, he moved a little kind of wonky himself. And so it was like, you need to walk nice and smooth, but he was laughing so hard at their reactions. It was, But have you tried anything like that? So that
Yeah.
you have a guest in front of them, they don't know you're filming them.
Right. You kind of, if you're going to post that publicly, you have to kind of be a little bit careful so that, people will see it. I've got disclaimers on my haunt saying basically,
Yep, ours
If
is
you
the
go
same way.
through-
If
okay,
you go through,
okay,
you're
okay.
public, you're public domain.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a video camera sign in front of mine too.
yeah.
Plus, if on my last haunt, I just had that set up right on as they were walking up the bridge. The camera was right there on the left. If you can't see that, I don't know what you're even at my haunt for.
Now, image stability in some of the software programs can help with that.
Yeah.
The problem with image stability is if you have like one small point here and the camera passes it, you drastically lose a lot of the peripheral stuff.
Yeah.
So so if you're all over the place, then it's not going to help. But is that the only problem that you had with that? Because you said that it almost worked.
It was the stability, but also there was a little bit of lighting issues as well. We had trouble with lighting, so.
Right.
But it was still, I was just curious if anyone's done that, to where you look like a guest and you're actually filming them from behind.
Right. No, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Actors that we put that on, but not girls.
Or like on the front, like, yeah.
Yeah, like a
Zombie
head.
pilot stuck in a tree that would fly across the room, and we stuck the GoPro on her. We thought it was silly, but no one else saw it, so it was okay. And we got some really good action shots. But
Did you?
But when she fell off the ceiling, we also got to see that, and so that kind of sucked.
Oh.
So,
Nice.
she tied herself up there. She's fine. She'll be back next year.
Just saying.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So really, what I want everybody to take away from this is that when you're going to go film your haunt, there are 3 people right here you can hire, and they'll do it for you.
Unless it's October.
Yeah. So do your haunt in September. So yeah, I guess if you have any other questions, we're gonna be here all weekend. All through. You're not gonna be here on Sunday afternoon, right? You're gonna leave
Be
here
here till about 2.
Okay. So we'll be around. You can stop any of us, talk to us. Ken is at the Sinful audio booth. Troy will be around. I'm at the Northwest booth. Brent's walking around. So if you have any other questions or want to pick the brain a little longer or something like that, we're all here, and of course we're all on Northwest and all that kind of stuff, and we're all Facebook and all that. So I will post up probably later on today. I will post up in the Northwest and on the webpage. I'll host the tips and tricks PDFs and some of the links to like the scare cams, the video for Jason Becker's thing, the free make software, Windows. For Windows Movie Maker, I know that on Windows 10 it does not come on it, and it is kind of hard to find. Like you have to go into the Microsoft website and find it. You can go to other websites and find it. Obviously, don't pay for it. It is free, and sometimes it's bundled with the Windows Essentials pack. and that has the, you know, it has several different things with it. You can take all those other things off and just install the Movie Maker. And then Sony Vegas, you know, you need to pay for, because none of us in here are pirates.
But it's not that expensive sometimes.
It's not, and it is worth it. I mean, it's worth it. You know, if you're going to do a lot of videos and you're going to use it for marketing and you're going to use it to make your haunt money, or potentially, then definitely, you know, after you get the hang of it, it's like Adobe software. You use it for several days, you're going to get mad at it a little bit, then you're going to get it, and it's going to start to come naturally to you.
Don't be intimidated, because I know the first time I opened it up, and there's like all these buttons and
Yeah.
all these
Oh, I know.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I think I've shut mine down 5 or 6 times. I'm just like, no, I can't do it, and then I have to go back to it. I did that with After Effects. I probably tried that 4 or 5 times, and I almost burned my house down because I was so mad at it. It's just, you know. But afterwards, I was like, this is so easy. After listening to 15 Russian guys talk about it, I was like, there. Now I know. And I knew Russian after that too, so it was great. Dual. Yeah, I can do that. I got that down.
Did you know my haunt?
If you want to.
So yeah, it you know, and of course all their videos, you know, he's you know, Planet Doom, and that's, you know, Halloween Hellmouth, and I'm Scare Hollow, so we have all our videos up. If you know, want to look back at these, watch these scare cam videos, which Troy's are by far just some of the funniest things you'll ever watch, especially the drop panel ones. They're,
Oh my God.
he does amazing work on those. It's fun to watch people get scared. I know there's a few others out there that do the drop panel hallway scare videos, and I know that Brad Goodspeed up in Canada, he does a very good one of his Butchers in Provincetown. He does really good scare cam stuff too, and it's so funny to watch people do that. I mean, it's just.
Okay, can I ask everybody a question on, please, when you guys watch videos and you've watched scare videos before, do you prefer to see somebody like bright, or does like the what is it? Infrared, the night vision? Do those bother you because everybody's green and their eyes are weird?
Yes.
It's like you're watching a cat.
Yeah.
I like it that way. It's for some
Kind
reason
of on the
goes
creepy
over my
end.
It is.
I have to say it's the audio that sells it for me. Again,
Okay.
Whether it's the grainy infrared or a well-lit room, when you can hear them scream and you can see the movement from it, you've got me at the first scream. I'm there for the whole 20 minutes. I don't care. I'm watching it.
Nice.
Because it's the scare you want to watch.
Yeah,
But
right.
I like seeing the color though.
The one that was just playing
Right,
was totally
right.
choppy, but my God, I could put that on a loop.
And I like how it looks with all the dust over the camera too.
I've had so many people say, dude, your haunt's really haunted. Look at all those orbs. I'm like, no, dude, that is dust.
That's dust, because every time they hit your walls, the dust comes flying off and everything, you know. All the stuff on your grass. But yeah, I mean, like this, you know, there are some, there's, you know, every different type of infrared camera is going to give you a different, a slightly different look and frame rate and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
look at that
It's
person calling.
but
It's like, I'm gonna
Gonna sneak by.
Yeah, outsmart us. Go ahead.
I'm gonna outsmart you.
the best ones that are like, I know what's. And you know the whole time he's sitting there, I know what's going to happen. It's not going to scare me. Not going to scare me. Oh, I peed my pants.
I've had people come through saying, oh, I've seen this on YouTube. I know what's going to happen, and it's still scared the shit out of me.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It just doesn't matter. You get a good actor behind that drum.
They all look like cats.
Yeah, one year I hooked up, was it 6? I'm asking you because I can't remember.
6 scare cams?
No, 4. It was 4.
You had 4. You had 2 in the front, 2 in the back. You actually, that.
4 drop panels
Yeah.
in the same hallway, all activated at the same time, staggered. So that you had 2 and 2, so that it didn't matter if you were at the beginning of the line, the end of the line, the middle, everybody was getting scared.
That actually taught me when I did my motel. I used that because I was like, I've got people coming down, but I always have that problem of you're going to get the first or last if you have 1 drop panel. You're not going to get the second person, and you're going to, so somebody's going to go in the back, and you're going to get it every time. Having 1 in the front and the back is going to be, you're going to get people, the whole entire group.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank you.